and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And in today's stream, I'm gonna be working some more on my background assets. So right now, I'm just gonna be coloring some buildings that I just finished doing the line art for, and we'll see how far I get. So this is my usual weekly stream. Today is Tuesday the 28th. I stream Tuesdays and Fridays. So let's get into it and see how far I get, how far I go. So, how has everyone been? How is everything? What's up? I've just been chilling these past few days, going to work, doing different things like that. Just trying to make a living, I guess. Things could be better, but all in all, things are pretty good. Been working on my show. I've also been working on some sketch art, some concept art of my show as well. You guys are going to see it in just a minute after my stream. I'm just gonna post like a work in progress sketch of one of the locations, New York, which is gonna be like the main setting of my show. And there's really a lot that went into this world as well as some of the characters. I'm trying to make a show that despite its animation, it is something that can be easily consumed and that can draw an audience in because my long-term goal is to entertain people. Since I was young, I've always wanted to tell stories and have an impact on people, whether it's just surface level and it gives people just a short reprieve, or it is something in which lessons can be taught and learned. And it's been quite the experience with both highs and lows. And I've talked about it in my art envy video. You guys can check it. It's actually one of my newest and latest, I guess, video essays. But it has been hard not being able to work in my field or not being able to work in my degree. But I'm still pushing forward and I'm still trying my best. So I guess that's really one of the most important things that matters is to keep moving forward past adversity and past failures, even though it's hard. But hey, I can't stop, not yet. So I want to give the windows a bit of a purplish tint just because the main character's color is purple. His sort of main color is purple, and this is him seeing the world through his eyes. And so the glass sort of acts as a reflection of what he sees. And when I actually put this through After Effects, I'm also going to add a little light, not really like a light, but more like a faint, low opacity, purplish tint to things to further push that theme and that feeling. I've also been trying to work on the antagonists and villains. One of my, I guess, issues is that I'm not trying to make a stereotypical villain. Now, this is not going to be one of those shows where I try to redeem like the villain or whatever. Like, no, this is going to be a show where everyone is a horrible person, and like everyone is going to suffer some sort of consequence. So like, but I guess my issue comes in to where, should I go for a more cathartic revenge where these characters are actively seeking to, take revenge, and everything that happens to their personal antagonist is directly because of them? Or rather, should I go for something more symbolic to which, yeah, these characters were the puppet masters, but in the end, like these people's downfalls were their own fault. And I guess it really matters as to what kind of overarching theme or story I'm going for. Because if I do the former, in which it's these villains' own downfall, then it's more so like, you know, judgment and fate will always catch up with you. But if it's the latter, and it's like, you know, nobody came for me, so I had to save myself. And I guess it could be taken either way. But I guess that's also one of the good things about having multiple protagonists is that I can sort of mix and match and pick and choose like which characters directly dole out their revenge and which characters more so are puppet master characters. I guess it really depends on which character it is. Like I do think characters like Ayo, he may more so want to get direct revenge because again, his whole inciting incident was that he was subject to an experiment that irreparably damaged and altered his body. Whereas other characters like Trina or Anansi, they are. Trina was sort of ousted from the science community. So she was essentially like, she lost all her accolades and stuff like that. So direct revenge may not be her route. Rather, she just may want to expose the people who wronged her, and then sort of their own hubris and their own natures are what leads to their downfall. I mean, because one of my goals is not to justify. Like, this isn't a show meant to justify revenge seeking behavior or to say, oh, it's a good thing that you sought revenge because, judgment never comes. Rather, this show is more so about how people can directly or indirectly affect each other and how what you do can have long term effects on people. And then the fallout from that can be directly or indirectly negative to you. Because it really goes back to what we're taught as children. We're taught, like, oh, be nice to people because you don't know what they're going through. Try to be kind and love thy neighbor. And, like, those are very foundational and, things that we learn at a young age because there is some truth because you don't know what people are going through. And it could be more subtle, like, because, people usually say, be nice because you don't know what people are going through because, because people are like, oh, this person might kill themselves or, oh, this person might do XYZ. When in reality, we're seeing that, at least in our own real life, that like victims of bullying nowadays go to extremes. Like all these cases of school shooters or like crime or like criminal use, oftentimes it is based in like mental health or can be sourced back to bullying. And again, not justifying revenge seeking behavior, but there are moments and times where, certain stories should be told or at least should be expressed that we affect people and we can hurt people. And at least personally, I always try to be nice and I always try to help people. And so while the sort of direct theme of the show is, being kind to others and well, you know, how to handle trauma and revenge, the backdrop of the world, which is the science fantasy world, it's a lot about potential. And so, one of the things that I've tried to balance with this world when compared to high fantasy, modern fantasy, and science fiction, I've looked at examples of Star Wars, Star Trek, Vampire Diaries, most of, you know, young adult teen dramas, as well as things like Cyberpunk and Shadowrun and different projects like that, is a lot of them focus on angst, drama, and sort of like this dystopian aura or sense of place. Whereas I want to almost avoid that. There are too many shows about like the dystopian future. I think it's time we had stories about potential and what and hopes for the future. Because a lot of shows have commentaries about, we need to take care of the planet and we need to take care of the earth, or we need to be kinder to people and different stuff like that. But like, let's actually have a show or have a piece of media that shows human potential without the backdrop of social issues or political economical issues. Like, let's have a show where, if you're smart enough and you're creative enough, you can build sustainable housing, or you can live in a caravan, or you can just have fun with your life. Let's have shows where people are crafting and building and making things. People are being kind to one another. And so the issues that will come about won't necessarily be like, oh, there's this ingrained social status, but rather it's people affecting people and people hurting people. Like, let's make let's make shows and movies about tomorrow, not something that's gonna happen in 100 years or 500 years. Let's see shows that are something we can work towards and build towards. Something that's 1 year down the line, 2, 3, 5 years down the line. And so the crux of Witches 13 isn't to tell people how to achieve a perfect world. Rather, it's showing people what a more loving and caring world could potentially look like. Because that's always how I personally felt and how I personally viewed things is you shouldn't be telling anyone how they should live their life. Just show them what a beautiful and perfect life could look like. And then it'll be up to everybody, not just one person, on how we achieve that goal, that dream. Again, potential and hope are two big themes and two big concepts I had when making this world. Because a lot of shows and video games and movies talk about human potential. Like, human potential and human ingenuity were two were major themes in video games like Bayonetta and Final Fantasy 14. Like with Bayonetta 2, their whole thing was like fighting fate and carving out your own destiny. And, human free will determine its path and course. Even through Bayonetta 3, that was still a major theme where the main character, Bayonetta, she was the one that wanted to carve her own destiny and she fought through different timelines and stuff like that. Whereas in Final Fantasy 14, their whole thing is like pushing forward and having faith and having hope for a brighter future. And I guess that's what I'm doing, or rather, that's what I'm trying to do through my show. It's just more so showing a glimpse of what that better future could potentially look like. And of course, like, we might not have the ability to shoot energy blasts out of our hands or use telekinesis or different spells and magic, but that's that sort of fantasy aspect that we can all relate to that still enraptures and draws attention to itself. Like, no, we're not gonna have people using magic in the next 5 years, but we can still have, people who are generally kinder to each other and a world that is more loving and appreciative. That is still very much possible in the next 5 years. And again, I'm just excited to really see the fruits of my labor because this is very much the home stretch of everything I've done and worked towards. I'm almost done. This project is almost complete. I'm just drawing some assets and then I just have to export these assets and put them through After Effects and have my, 1-2 cleanup of everything. But like I said, I can't wait to see what happens next after this. Who knows? Like somebody might contact me and say, "Hey, Amobi, I saw your teaser trailer. Like, let me give you, I don't know, like $50,000. Find a team, work on this pilot, or I could start a Kickstarter and start funding. Like, I'll probably like run calculations, find some writers that I'm friends with. Like, I have like at least 3 friends who are amazing writers. I also have other associates and friends from both my job in retail as well as people I've met along my college journey who I can contact as well and say, "Hey, I'm working on a show. I need a sound designer, or would you like to be a co-animator with me?" Because that's the whole thing. Like even though I could be a director and I could just watch, I love animation too much to just sit idly by. Like I would be down in the trenches with my people, like working on different animations and trying to make stuff look good. That's just the kind of person I am and the kind of stuff I do and love to do. Like honestly, I could draw forever. I could animate forever. Shoot, I'd be that one dude that takes the work home and you don't even need to give them paid overtime because like I'd be there drawing like mad crazy. I just love the process of art and animation. I just love doing it. It's one of the things that I derive so much joy from. Like it's hard to explain how much I love my craft and I love doing my craft. It, Looks like I forgot to silence my phone. My bad. So I'm going for a more plain color scheme. I don't want to dedicate too much to shading because oftentimes, and this is what I've gained and garnered from looking at other projects and stuff like that, is a lot of their shading is actually done in After Effects. And there are also different motion blurs and tweens that they use to sort of give a more lifelike, is the proper word, a more, yes, a more lifelike sort of feel to their animations and their different background assets. So that's the first building. And I'm going to select this, group them, and that is one asset completed. So when it comes to things like this, things like creating assets and the like, what I end up liking to do is I actually draw. Let me see if I can actually find it first. Where is it? Here it is. So let me hide this. So I'll actually take a screenshot of my animation or from whatever layer I'm working on, like this right here. This is actually a screenshot from Adobe Animate when I was working on. This might not be the correct layer. Oh, here it is. I'll take screenshots from different segments and different areas of my animation, like this right here. I also have this image and that image. These are different locations and scenes. And so, at least for this portion right here, I'm going to be drawing everything on the same, in the same file. But when it comes down to exporting it, I take screenshots, I paste them in whatever drawing software I'm using, and then after that, I'll try to draw different buildings and shapes. I'll make like rough sketches of what it's supposed to look like this right here. So like this is the screenshot, but then this layer right here is the, but this right here is the rough sketch and different sort of locations and things that I've drawn that are meant to fit into this rough sketch. And so these are the different assets and buildings I've drawn. And then afterwards, I will do my final line art and I'll sort of etch in these different buildings, locations. I like to do the line art first and then underneath I will draw the different windows and buildings and the like. So this is this building completed. I'm now going to work on this building over here. And I like to switch up the colors. And I actually noticed this during my trip to Connecticut is we actually passed by New York and I I actually saw the city in person that is like the the inspiration for the city, the main setting I'm creating. And I think I took some pictures. I hope I took some pictures of New York when I was passing through it. But like I saw buildings, I saw like the horizon line. I saw so many different things there and actually being in New York in person is beautiful and wonderful. And like you should have seen me in that van. Like I was just taking pictures. It is wonderful. It is beautiful. Like I'm going to plan a trip where I go to New York. Like I'm gonna save up some money. I'm gonna like book either a plane ticket or some sort of like train ride, and I'm gonna go to New York for maybe a week. No, a week would be too long. Mm. At least like either a whole week or half a week, and just be in the city and draw and like paint and do stuff like that. But I saw the city and I'm scrambling. I'm just all over the place. I'm literally scrolling through my phone right now and looking at some of the pictures I drew. Um, and I saw the different colors, and as I actually look at it, like there's like the colors of the buildings blend in with the atmosphere. So even though there's like some silver buildings or gray or these dark blacks or browns and reds, because of the actual atmosphere, there's sort of like this faint bluish tint to everything. And I can't. I would have loved to have seen New York at night. Like that would have been wonderful. Amazing. Oh, and now that I've actually seen this, I could actually incorporate that into sort of my art and what I'm working on. It's like I can add an extra layer, like an extra layer or two, where there's like this faint bluish overlay that is happening on some of these buildings to where it looks as though they are being absorbed by the atmosphere or being, there's actual depth to it. This is just beautiful. New York is a beautiful city. I say this as someone who is not a New York native, but New York just looks beautiful. I would love to go to New York one day. I'm still young. I want to travel and see the world. I mean, one thing I would like to avoid with this show is romance or like romantic undertones because I f- it, that there is a lot of media in which there is this need for romance or there is a need for some sort of romantic subplot where all the character needed was to feel loved or to find someone to fight for or be better for. And while I understand the strengths and advantages of stories like that and of telling stories like that, that is not something I want for this particular story and the particular message that I'm going for with this story. Because finding love isn't going to help you get over your trauma or uh, isn't going to help you get over your trauma or help you become a better person. Like, it is my core belief that you need to put yourself together before you try to build anything new or lasting with a whole separate entity. So this story isn't gonna have themes or aspects of finding love. Rather, what I would like to show and express is that okay, if there is gonna be any sort of romance or love, then definitely it is not gonna be like if there is any romance or love, it is not gonna be on the forefront. It's not gonna be something that overpowers the main narrative or is higher or more than now. And what I mean by that is this isn't a true love fix all story. Love and romantic attraction is very much going to be in the background of this story. It's going to be hinted at or implied, but it's not going to be like, oh, like this person found someone who loves them. Now they don't seek revenge. Oh yeah, it's the 28th. That means ECGC is in the next month and I'm excited. I can't wait. Hopefully my business cards will be done in time. I've almost finalized the design. I just need to like write some more facts and information about myself. Then I can just put it through InDesign, resize it, and pay for my cards. Like, though I do wonder how long does printing business cards take? I guess it really depends on like what I'm doing because they're definitely gonna be double-sided business cards just so I can share and push my artistic accolades and abilities. I know I sound freaking insufferable. But hey, y'all subscribe to me for a reason, don't you? I definitely at least want to finish this building. And then afterwards, I will likely talk a bit more, then call my stream to a close. I wanted to go for a more silver color, which, at least for me, is a bit difficult because, hmm, should I have said silver? No, more like a silver concrete color. Like, concrete is a grayish silver, at least how I perceive it. Hmm. I got a few more buildings in the front to draw in color, and then afterwards, all I'll need to do is to just finish up the background buildings, and then I'll be done. Oh, as well as a few of these floating islands, but then my assets will be done, at least for this part. And then I can go on to composite everything in After Effects. This has been rather fun and rather exciting. And a long time coming as I slowly but surely begin to wrap things up and finish and complete things. And a part of me thinks I should have maybe worked on my backgrounds and assets a little bit earlier. But hey, animation is a learning process. We all got to learn, we all got to take time to figure things out, so on and so forth. But this is rather fun and this is rather nice. And I've really been enjoying just working on all of this. I've learned so much, done so much, grown and developed through hardships, failures, and successes. Things have been rough, but I'm still pushing through and I'm still trying. Even though it's hard sometimes or I want to give up, I still push myself and try. Because I have a goal, I have a plan, and I have a vision. And in many ways, that's what many of us need, a vision or a plan, something that we are working towards and want to do. And for anyone out there who is listening, stopping by, thank you so much. Thank you for clicking on my stream, for liking, following, subscribing, and maybe even rewatching some of my old videos and stuff I've done. This is quite the experience and quite the journey I've gone on and been through. And I'm going to keep pushing, I'm going to keep going. I still have plenty of projects I'm working on and doing. My dad always tells me an idle mind is the devil's playground. So I try to keep busy and I try to work on several things at once. Call me weird or crazy, but hey, it's how I was raised. So I got these assets I need to finish, these assets and backgrounds. Then I need to composite it in After Effects. Then I'm going to have to publish it with some sounds. I also have business cards I'm working on, a new banner for my channel to accompany the new logo I made a little while ago. I've also been working on other pieces of art, character art, and some designs for future characters. I have my entire sketchbook project that I'm working on and doing. So that's fun. That's always going to be fun. And yeah, plenty of things. Plenty of things for me to stream and animate and show you guys different test animations or different short films that I'm working on for the future. But yeah, please stay tuned. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. I also have a Patreon and a Buy Me a Coffee in the description below, as well as a Fiverr account if you want me to work on something for you. Anyway, this has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art, and I'll see you guys in my next video or stream. Bye.